Hey friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Sunday Q&A. We're going to be rapid firing almost 20 batteries. I flew over 20 batteries, but all of a sudden, for no real reason whatsoever, these HD0 goggles are corrupting my memory cards. 2 memory cards in a row that I've put into these to record DVR onto them have come off of those goggles corrupted. They were 2 known working memory cards. One of them I'd been using for months in it. The other one is just a known working memory card. The known working one, I actually even not initialized, formatted in the goggles. Because it happened to the one memory card, and I just assumed that that the memory card grenaded, right, as they do every once in a while. And so, yeah, the second card, I made it a point to format in them, but yeah, it is unreadable by this computer. And when I launch Disk Utility and try to run first aid on it, it fails that. And at that point, like, there's really nothing you can do. I've tried it in, I've tried both cards in 3 different computers, and they're not readable in any of them. So I don't know what's happening. I didn't change anything on the HD0 goggles. I didn't change the firmware. It's the same firmware that I've been running. It's not the brand new firmware that just came out a couple days ago. It's one before that, and it was totally fine. There was no issue whatsoever. And now all of a sudden, you know, I have these goggles to use them for DVR. So yeah, if they're not going to work for DVR, I guess I'm just going to move them along and go to Sky Zones or something like that. So yeah, super weird. Super weird. Somebody in the chat did say, stupid question, but did you try a different reader? You know, I didn't. Hold on. Good call. Wait, no, I might have. I was dealing with this a couple days ago. I'm not sure. Let's see right now, though. This is a different little adapter. I've tried it on 3 different computers, though, so I know that the issue is not this computer. Yeah, no, there it is. There is there is my pain. There it is. Yeah, and then it does show up here in disk utility, but it's grayed out. It claims to be X-FAT, which is normal. But then, yeah, when I run first aid, which is kind of the only thing you can do, it just fails. So, you know, I got that going for me. It won't like mount to be able to look at anything. What's interesting is when I put both memory cards back into the goggles, they're fine. And I can like look at the files in the goggles and everything. So yeah, super weird stuff. But that's kind of, I hate to say it because I love the HD0 guys, but that's kind of been my experience with these HD0 goggles, is like weird thing after weird thing after weird thing sort of happens with them. So yeah, I don't know. Oh my god, created by Dub says, I thought it was just me. It killed 2 of my cards too. Are you kidding me? What the hell? Oh my god, Waxless says, I did a firmware update on my Skyzone 04X and had the same issue. What? What is happening? What? How many people is this happening to? I'm gonna try a third little adapter. What? Well, now I'm getting nothing. So yeah, at some point here, we're gonna start playing through these files, these flight files that I got from 04. So 04 didn't corrupt anything. 04 worked perfect. Nope, there it is. Yeah, ignore. Man, I don't think you can transfer directly off of these, can you? There's no like, there's HDMI, but there's no like USB port. There's no way to yeah. There's no way to hook these up. I don't know, man. In the chat, Uriel was first, Bad was second, Bob Bruce, Patchy Smoke, Wounded Sniper, Cole Powers, Notice, Schnauzer FPV, Frank Nicholas, Mike K, Spaceman Spiff, Stefan for Elements, Hockey Rounds, Rays, Smoke a Dog Cujo, Shoestring, JK, Kelvin, Waxless, Lane, I believe that is. I think that's an L, not an I. Yannick, Brandon's Baked Beans, Tie in the Sky Photo and Video, created by Dub. Who else do we have? Higgy. There's Mike K again. BMO's Ride and Grind. I think I got everybody. If I missed you, that sucks. You must feel like shit. No, I just, I gotta sort through the repeats. So sometimes when I'm sorting through the repeats, I'll miss somebody. I won't miss you next time, I promise. I didn't do it on purpose. I've got a blue TPU build plate here in front of me, so you're gonna see me scraping at it with a plastic razor blade. This is the best one yet in terms of being able to get stuff off the plate. I lowered the bed temperature by 20 degrees, and with no brims, these are just popping right off. Like, that was just me going gah, 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 and it just, each one of those popped right on off. This is I'm definitely dialing this printer in for this TPU. These are the ones, these full-blown Tiny Whoop camera mounts are the ones that are the most difficult to get off, though. So let's see. Yeah, they're still, nope, that came off quite easily. I did just smash my knuckle into the corner of the build plate, though. I leave this tower thing on so I can kind of like hold on to that when I'm scraping these guys off. And usually I keep my knuckles clear of the edge of the plate. Wow, okay. These two just exploded right off. So yeah, dropping the bed temperature down definitely has helped with this. This is really nice. These are popping off without any real issue at this point. So this is super cool. And they're still, everything is still sticking to the bed totally fine. I'm gonna have any problems with these things moving around, or any of the prints kind of like failing. Yeah, I mean, just there. Look, awesome. So very cool. No brims, and then dropping the plate temperature back down. One of the things that I dialed in. So I took some of Madstech's Bamboo Lab A1 Mini settings, and then on one of the websites there was somebody that had a tuned profile for it. In one of those two, I'm pretty sure that I had raised the bed temperature, which would explain why, like, initially it wasn't such a nightmare to get stuff off, and then all of a sudden it started becoming a pain in the ass. So, you know, just yet another scenario of, like, don't blindly take someone else's settings and think that they're gonna work for you, which is even more applicable in FPV. Set stuff up for you know, for you. Don't trust that that somebody else's settings are gonna ever work for you. Ugh. Look at that big old pile I already have. Love it. In the chat, if you want to talk directly to me, just type CiottiFPV in your chat message. If you spell it right, and if you don't put a space in between Ciotti and FPV, it'll light up an orange for me. If you want to see what that looks like, type your own name, and your own name will light up an orange. You could put an @ in front of it, but you don't have to. You can do that with each other. If you want to get Frank Nicholas's name in your chat message, type Frank space Nicholas, spell it right, and for him, his name will light up an orange, and then he'll see that you're talking to him. This is a completely crowdfunded thing that I've got going here. If you want to support the madness, head on over to CiottiFPV.com. It's the only way that I can do this full time. Patreon helps me out the most here, and you get the biggest benefits. It's $3 a month to join the Patreon. For $5 a month, you're going to get in on giveaways. Not this Monday, but it looks like the following Monday will be a giveaway live stream. So it's a really good time to jump from the $3 to the $5 tier, or just come on board to the Patreon and help me keep doing this. I'll keep saving you money. I'll keep showing you what to buy, what not to buy, all that good stuff. Etsy has some really fun stickers and hardware. Another great way to support me is to buy some of my stuff. Fiverr, you can work one-on-one with me. I've been doing this for almost 9 years, paying attention along the way so that I can give good information to people rather than the garbage information on Facebook groups and Reddit. Teespring has some fun stuff that you can buy. PayPal if you want to support me directly, but you don't want to do a super chat because you know YouTube will take 30%. Searchable live stream transcripts, one of the best. If you specifically remember me saying something on a live stream, you can click through here and find the actual live stream and then search a literal transcript from it. All of the words that I say are in here, so you can just like Command F or Control F and search for like gobbledygook. And now we know that on this live stream, I did not say gobbledygook. But I did say PID tune. Let's see how many times I said PID. 9 times I said PID in this live stream. Well, I think I saw the end of stupid. Yeah, stupid. But that's still PID. So there you go. There's a lot of different ways you can find the info that you're looking for. And then I've got a ton of affiliate links. These are completely free. Change your bookmarks to someone's affiliate links. It is free money for that person, and then they can keep making cool stuff for you to watch for free on YouTube. If you don't use bookmarks, and like when you want to go to Amazon, you just type AMA for Amazon, your suggestions here in your URL bar, you can remove them. It's different on every browser. On Chrome, there's a little X off on the right. You click it and it removes that existing suggestion. So remove your suggestions for these websites and then hit my affiliate links a couple times in a row. And then from then on, when you type RACE for race day quads, your browser will think that you want to go to my affiliate link because that's the last thing that you clicked a few times in a row. And there you go. You don't have to remember. You have to use affiliate links over and over and over again. They get cleared out from the shopping cart. So yeah, that's how you can support people without like having to remember to hit their specifically affiliate links before you check out. I have them for Amazon, Get FPV, Pyro Drone, Race Day Quads, Newbie Drone, Weebleed FPV, Beta FPV, FPV Cycle, Hisingi, Oh My God, Brain 3D, HD0, Fly, Wooey, Max, Banggood, Camera Butter, AliExpress. There you go. That's how you support me. There's some other fun stuff on the bottom here that you might laugh at. Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper tagged me and said, "Good evening, CiottiFPV and Gangly Gang. How you all doing?" Ray says, "What's up, bro?" Calvin says, "You're to blame for me buying an 04 light setup. Meteor 75, love you, bro. Hope you're well." Thank you, dude. You're gonna love it. The 04 light is just outrageously good. Like I just every single time I fly it, I just don't understand how we have a video system at like 8 grams that is as good as it is. It really doesn't make sense. Hockey Rounds, thank you for the super chat. Let's see what he said. He said super chat. First time for everything. The super chat comment is super chat. Ooh, that's the cleanest little stack cover thing. Jose Lopez, thank you for the subscription, friend. That's another great way that you guys can support me, is subscribing to the channel, clicking the stupid bell thing, leaving a comment, whatever. It all helps. These are the cleanest little Micro King stack mounts yet. Although this one, yeah, I keep losing the little bits inside of the M. Let me show you. I keep losing... See the M on the right side there? The bot is backwards right now. There you go. The M on the top left, see how the bottom parts, it's broken off. See, it's dangling around in there. I mean, I think I'm just asking too much, right? Like, it's just too little. But the reason why I keep trying it is that it's cool looking. Also... Where the hell is it? I put the 04 rig all the way away, as if I'm not just gonna like whip it out and talk about it more on the live stream. The reason why I keep trying is that someone printed one of these, and the little bottom bits of the M stuck. But obviously they printed this on a smooth plate, and so what it looks like happened is it smushed down to the smooth plate, right? Like I've been using the textured plate that it comes with, and so instead of like what I think happened is on that smooth plate, the TPU went like a little bit, and that made those little parts of the M just a little bit wider, which was just enough for them to kind of hang on. So yeah, I'm using this as an excuse to get a smooth build plate, basically. But I want to try to... I also want to get clear TPU. I forgot how cool clear TPU looks until yesterday against these clear frames, you know? Like, that looks like one big piece. And so I want to get a roll of Sane Smart clear filament. I would love to get bamboo clear TPU, but they don't sell it. And so I want to. I just have to find a website that has Sane Smart Clear TPU and the Bamboo A1 Mini smooth build plate, and then I'll do a little order for both of those. And I think that'll kind of be it. I don't really think I want. I'm really trying to stay out of 3D printing as much as possible, especially with like how kind of fun I've realized it is. And so yeah, I don't think I want to go any. Well, no, I guess I still need to. I need to get one spool of some sort of hard filament. I don't have. All I have is TPU right now, and so yeah, I need to. But I haven't figured it out yet. I haven't figured it out if I should get PLA or insert the acronyms of all the other ones here. It sounds like I don't want to do nylon from the last discussion that we had about this because it's kind of noxious. And so yeah, there's that. Get on there. So yeah, I need to. I guess I should wait to figure that out as well. What's happening to my nose? Why am I having an allergy attack to nothing? All right, so I'm no longer going to be scraping the build plate off, but I am going to be ripping support material off. So if you see me like janking around a little bit, that's what's going on. Let me start playing so yesterday I went yesterday Peachtree Drift Lounge, which is the name of the so Torque Motorsports is the name of the sim rig place that used to let Altitude Motorsports build a little RC drift car track in like the right side of their building that I used to run at all the time. What it looks like Peachtree Drift. It looks like Altitude Raceway, which is run by a really cool guy named Steve. It looks like they've kind of like shifted their name or whatever to Peachtree Drift Lounge, and I think that he's like working with Torque Motorsports to maybe like rent a corner of Torque Motorsports' giant new location from them, and so now it's called Peachtree Drift Lounge, which is super awesome, and so that's what I'll be referring to it as, because that's now what it's called, just so that those of you that have been around for a while aren't like, yo, what happened to Altitude? So yeah, Peachtree Drift Lounge had a whole bunch of people come from out of town yesterday to run at their new track that I tested on Wednesday of last week. So same layout, but a lot more drivers and a lot more cars, and some of them might be in the chat, so if you see them, say hi. Incredible drivers, and I had an absolute blast, as I always do, chasing them. On the 04 rig, I ran 16... I think I actually ran 17 batteries in a row. And then I started flying analog, and I probably ran like 7 or 8 analog batteries, which are all on here, and I can't get off, which makes me want to scream and punch everything. But hey, that's life sometimes. I'll hopefully figure out a way to get them off that memory card. The files are there. It's just that for whatever reason, my computer refuses to read the card, or it refuses to let the card mount so that I can even look at it. And so, yeah, I'm gonna start playing through the DJI flight footage. It's mostly 4K 60. Towards the end, though, I switched over to 1080, 120 frames. But let me get this going, and then I'll just kind of like talk over it. The walk snail rig, I wanted to. I was actually really excited to fly the walk snail rig after flying this 04 rig a bunch. And the ESC has died on it. Just for no reason. It's been sitting on the shelf. It was a working rig, and you know, ESC is just dead. Won't connect to ESC configurator. Won't work in. It won't do anything in Betaflight. It just, you know, I got tired of waiting for you to fly me, so I just cut my own head off. Like, what? Why? How? How does this? How? How does this keep happening? Why does this happen so much in FPV? Why do we not abuse rigs, and then they just explode all on their own? Like, and these builds, they wonder why we abuse them so bad. It's because they act like this. What the hell? Why? If you're not going to act right, then I'm going to beat the tar out of you. So that was infinitely frustrating. Luckily, I have a bunch of the... luckily, I have a bunch of those BetaFPV old school 1S F4 AIOs that I use for that build. So I just have to swap it in. But it's an annoying swap because like it's direct soldered and like it's just annoying. It's just, you know, a half an hour of work and like $50 gone for absolutely no reason. None whatsoever. On a rig that I'm probably barely gonna fly, you know, because like the 04 setup is sure seems like it's kind of better than walk snail in every way other than the 1 extra gram that you gain from it. So yeah, keep in mind with this flight footage, this is only the second time flying this 1S 65mm 04 carrying build. The build is Newbie Drone Cockroach V3 frame, Tiny Whoop 0702 36,000 kV motors, HQ 1.2 by 0.9 by 3 tri-blades, the new school BetaFPV Matrix 3-in-1 AIO, because it's the only 1S AIO with a big enough voltage regulator to keep the 04 running, keep the 04 from browning out. 04 light, Batwing camera mount, which is available on my Discord in the 3D printing channel, and I'm also going to be selling it on my Etsy store very soon. BT 2.0, and then 300 mAh lava batteries. I'm getting between 2 minutes and 2 minutes and 10 seconds, which is a little more than I would get with the walk snail rig, to be honest. But the walk snail rig I was using when I was chasing these guys on carpet, and they go a lot faster on the carpet. So I think that's where the difference in runtime is kind of coming from. Flight performance is pretty good, as you can see. You know, like, you don't really push the rig very hard chasing these guys, though. You're trying to be super smooth. Just a big old fashioned Western style pile up there. Yeah, it flies great for what it is. It's not a freestyle rig. I mean, with the 36,000 kV motors, I could probably push it pretty hard, but at the moment I don't want to wreck the 04 VTX, so I'm just flying it like what it is. But realistically, I mean, it is a Cinewhoop, and I'm flying it like a Cinewhoop. So flying this thing harder is taking it way outside of what it's gonna do well, and basically, I mean, at the weight that it's at, flying at freestyle is going to start killing motors all over the place, right? It's carrying around an 8-gram payload in the 04 setup, and like, that's not what we do with freestyle rigs. You know, freestyle rigs are meant to be lightweight and super durable. This did not have, well, I mean, I tried to make it as lightweight as I could. And the frame is very durable. We haven't gotten great feedback on the durability of the 04, and it's kind of expensive, so I can't necessarily afford to just go destroy an 04 air unit just for, you know, just for science. But yeah, this is built to be a little tiny this is built to be the world's smallest Cinewhoop. And holy hell, does it do a good job with that. I think I want to try lower kV motors. I usually put high kV 702s on these on these digital rigs, just so that the PID loop can really ramp the motor up, and it can have that big burst of power when it really needs it, because it's carrying such a heavy payload. I never, like, flying like this, I never go over like 60% throttle. But the point is that I think I'm sort of helping the PID loop out. What I noticed, though, flying analog after all this, after all these 04 batteries, I've got 2 analog rigs at the moment. One of them is admittedly a little bit lighter. It's on a, it's got a Runcam Nano 3, which is the lightest of the little tiny whoop cameras. That build is on 32,000 kVs. The other build is on 36,000 kV motors. I'm sorry, the lightweight build is on 28,500 kV motors, actually. And then the other build is on 36,000 kV motors. Yes, the lighter one is lighter, so it will get more runtime, but it's getting like 2 more minutes of runtime. So I actually want to try going down in kV on the 04 rig next. I'm going to drop it down to like 32,000, I think, to see if I can get maybe like 2.5 minutes of runtime. Like 2 minutes 210, which I'm getting so far, like, it's fine. It's totally okay. But there have been a bunch of batteries where, like, I'm really getting into the flow of it and really kind of feeling it and starting to fly good, and then I get the low battery warning. So, like, if I can get to like 2 minutes and 30, 2 minutes and 40, and sacrifice like a little bit of PID loop performance, little bit of full throttle, which I'm barely, if ever, using, yeah, I'll kind of dig that. At some point, I might direct solder the motors too, to try to get a little bit of runtime back, but I have to decide on which motors to kind of stick with before I go down that road. Although, does this Matrix 3-in-1 have any kind of a motor pad? Not really. Scratch that. It doesn't look like the, well, wait, those might be motor pads there under the plug headers. On the top of the board, there's definitely not solder pads, but on the bottom of the board, it looks like there might actually be somewhat usable solder pads. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna drop it down to the lower kV motors, and if the PID loop is not struggling to keep the thing stable and whatnot, yeah, maybe I'll lock in on those motors and make them a little bit more permanent. Raze says, "What's up, bro?" Kelvin says, "Oh no, we got that." Cold Power says, "Stupid question, but did you try a different reader?" We talked about that. Uriel says, "Can you reformat?" I can, but then I'll lose all the flight footage. Created by Dub says, "I thought it was just me. It killed 2 of my cards too." Did that just happen? Created by Dub, and are you on a Mac? Tag me, please, with your answers. Waxless, same question for you. Are you on a Mac? Uriel says, "Connect goggles with USB, read files. I wish." Notice says, "I find that Windows will read when Mac can't sometimes. Is that an option?" It is not. I can't handle the frustration of Windows machines. Bad says, "I used to get DVR." I've never had this issue before. This is the first time I've, in 9 years of doing this, I've never had a set of goggles make a memory card unreadable. This is super weird. Bad says, "I used to get DVR issues with my Cobra X goggles after a format and always using the eject drive option on my PC. I haven't had an issue since." Super annoying. Michael Blade says, "Hey there." Uriel says, "You're doing high production." What's that mean? Calvin says, "Why do I get better fly time with biblades and worse with tri-blades? Feels like the tri-blades would be heavier and less efficient." Yep, that's one of the reasons. The main reason, though, let me pause this real quick. The main reason is that, so the way that a propeller blade works is just like an airplane wing. it creates high and low pressure zones. And at the end of the propeller blade or the airplane wing, those high and low pressure zones mix. This is why on commercial airliners, you'll see at the end of the wing, they sweep it upwards. They have like a 90-degree angle. I think they call it a winglet at the end here. And what that does is that blocks the, it doesn't block, but that kind of blocks. It basically, it introduces those high and low pressure zones to each other in a way that's more efficient. A regular blade with a regular wingtip like this, it doesn't do that great of a job. And so what tends to happen is as the propeller swings around, the high and low pressure zones mix on the outside and they create a little tip vortex is what it's called, or there's multiple tip vortices. And so it's the most turbulent part. And so this little vortex comes off here and then it dissipates. And when you've got 3 blades, you've got that little vortex, and then you've got another blade coming around that's going to hit it. And so the more, and that's bad. Blades want, airfoils want to go into clean air, the cleanest air possible. If an airfoil goes into turbulent, dirty air, it's less efficient. And so the more blades that you've got, the closer the next blade is to that vortex and that turbulent air. So the less blades, the more gap, right? Like it's about this gap. And that also applies to the size of a propeller. The bigger a propeller, the bigger the gap between those vortexes. And so bigger propellers are always more efficient. Less blades are also more efficient. We've got this gap here on a tri-blade. On a bi-blade, the gap would be all the way over here, right? So there's an aerodynamic benefit in terms of efficiency in less blades, also bigger props. And so tiny whoops, having the smallest propellers, they are the least efficient. This is one of the biggest problems that we have in tiny whoops, is that they, the propellers, just because of their size, are the least efficient. So when if I can ever run a bi-blade on a tiny whoop, I do. On the test day, on Wednesday, I was actually running a bi-blade. Yesterday, this is all on tri-blades. I've just started chasing these guys again, and this is actually the first time that I've been chasing them on this polished concrete floor, which makes them a lot slower than when they were on carpet, which I was used to. And so I'm not dialed in enough quite yet to say, like, yes, tri-blades are a better bet for this. But as I fly more and more and more with them, I'll go back and forth and hopefully be able to figure it out. Tri-blades, in theory, are going to be better for this kind of stuff because they have more grip. But the problem is they only really have more grip when you increase your angle of attack or pitch or whatever you want to call it to the point where, like, you can see the blades. When we're flying flat like this, there's no real airflow going into the blades, right? The moving air is just hitting the ducts. It's not until... Oh, what the fuck is going on with my allergies? It's not until you get it really moving where the airflow can see the blades, can hit the blades. I mean, obviously, the air is going to get pulled into the blades, but when we're talking about, like, cornering, when you're cornering, you've got this wall of air that you're sliding into, and if you're sliding into it completely flat like this, the guards, the ducts, are taking care of all that, like, slowing down force. If you're coming in like this, like you're racing, you're going really fast, now that wall of air can sort of see the blades. And so the more blades, the more grip when you come into a corner like this. For what I'm doing, I'm pretty flat the whole time. Like I'm just in here. And so bi-blades versus tri-blades might not make any difference for what I'm doing here. So yeah, I'll keep... More testing is needed. The biblades will always be lighter weight, so they'll allow the PID tune to work a little bit better by dropping the response time down. And so yeah, there's a lot of things kind of going back and forth. There's a lot of variables there. It's not just like you can't just like theory craft the answer to that. We have to like actually spend a bunch of time flying both to attempt to figure out which one is better suited for this. But all that being said, the HQ ultralight 1.2 by 0.9 by 3 tri-blades and the new 1.2 1.2 2 biblades are both incredible, and you should own them both and make up your own mind, because they do fly different. When you're flying freestyle, the biblades are more slippery, which is fun. That allows you to kind of slide around more, and it gives you more of like an open prop, like 5-inch in a parking lot kind of flight experience. And propellers are ultra cheap, so buy a bunch. Uriel says, yeah, think for yourself and learn to learn. Indeed. Frank Nicholas says, to help recover the files. Oh, disc drill. I might still have disc drill. I used disc drill in the past. I think I got rid of it. Good call, Frank. I'm going to leave that open in a tab there. Oops. What else is happening in chat? Bimo's Run Grind says, highly recommend 1-to-1 with CiottiFPV. What's that mean? What's 1-to-1 mean? Hanging out and watching the live streams? Frank Nicholas says, I have a pro license and can help if the free version doesn't help. Thank you, dude. David Sainty says, I found a source for 1.4mm by 12mm screws, but 22, wow, that's expensive. 22 pounds per 100. That's a bit much. Jesus. Yeah, for whatever reason, 1.4 by 12 screws are like impossible to find. It is why I have not run the BetaFPV 04 canopies yet. The canopy has big holes in the mounting points, and the screws that I have just fall right through those big holes in the canopy. I was gonna just use a little washer, but then I thought, like, surely I'll be able to find these screws, and then I started searching for them. I got frustrated and walked away and forgot to get back to it. But I will, I promise. Man, I've been printing this one Batwing mount flat, and it makes the support material super hard to get off, unless I've been doing... Yep, nope, never mind. Never mind. I've just been trying to grab the support material in a stupid spot. If I grab it from the corner right there, it seems to just pop right off. Let's see. I almost have it all the way off. It comes off kind of ugly. Not sure. Hockey Rounds, thanks again for the $2 super chat. Mike K says, what's the easiest way to remove props from the Meteor 75 Pro? Either a Propodial, which you'll get for free with every single giveaway of mine that you win, or Etsy order that you place. So you can go to Etsy and buy something for like $3, which doesn't even cover shipping, and I'll put this into the package for you. And you really should have both. The Propodial is great, don't get me wrong. But it's also really nice to have an actual prop puller. This is the clone popper from Tiny Whoop. This is my favorite. You can absolutely break this, though. If you really start cranking on this, you can break the little forks, or you can even break the little arms off here. You shouldn't be cranking on it that hard, though. Like, that's kind of the deal. Why I love the clone popper is the forks here are the thinnest. And so with this guy, don't like muscle this, because you will break it. This is for props that you've not muscled on. But the full story here is that you should not be pushing propellers onto your motors so hard that they're difficult to pull off. The motor shaft and the bell of the propeller are laser welded together in a little tiny 1.5 millimeter diameter circle. That laser weld is very easy to break. The easiest way to break it is to jam a propeller on with your fucking gorilla human being strength onto this obnoxiously little small 1.5 millimeter or 1 millimeter motor shaft. And so the problems with tiny whoop motors failing and propellers getting stuck on begin with most of the propellers having too small of an inner diameter. You can either blame the prop manufacturers for that and keep ruining motors, or you can fix the problem properly and buy from my Etsy store a 0.99 millimeter drill bit and a 1.47 millimeter drill bit. And before you put propellers on, you take them and you run them down these drill bits, and that opens up the inner diameter so that you don't have to push it so hard onto the motor. You can push it at a reasonable level of force onto the motor, and then you can also remove the damn things, and so you save your motors, you save your fingers, and you're able to remove the props. If you ever find yourself, like the weird thing that I say that tends to make sense to a lot of people is that, like, if you're just pushing a propeller on and like all is well and you're just doing it like this is usually fine. If you find your elbow drifting up because you're starting to really need to push force into this thing, stop. You're about to ruin that motor. If you don't ruin it right now, you're fatiguing that laser weld, and at some point that motor is going to let go. And so, like, these propellers should go on, like, easily. Your elbows should be down. You should be chilled. You should not be like, you know? If you start to get upset and you start to have to push hard enough to, like, leave a dent in your finger, that's too much. Take it back off. Drill it out a little bit more. The drill bits are small enough that so the first time you run a propeller down, you're going to spin it. And this is called a pin vise. I have more of these pin vices on the way. They just hold the drill bits. Otherwise, you're going to have to, like, hold these drill bits in pliers, and it just sucks. So the pin vices will be back in stock on the website soon as well. And they're double pin vices, so you put one on either side. The first time you drill a prop out, you spin this thing. Spin it, run the prop up and down. That's going to remove some material. You then try it on your motor. Every single different manufacturer of motor uses a slightly different thickness motor shaft. It's maddening. And so there's not one size fits all solution. But you drill the prop out. You push it onto the motor. If you find yourself starting to really push on it, stop. Take it back off. The next thing you want to do is don't spin the drill bit. Just push the propeller all the way down to the base and then pull the propeller off. When you pull it off without spinning it, you'll see like a little like explosion of white. That's what she said. Those are the tiny little bits of plastic that it's pulling out. Usually you want to do that like a second or even a third time. Each time you'll see that little cloud of plastic dust. And then you try it on the motor again and you see where it's at. If it now goes on easily, great. If not, you're going to do it again. And you're doing your first propeller, just count. I spun it, and then I without spinning it, went on and off 3 times, and that was perfect. You do the next 3 propellers that same way, and you're done. And it's really not a very big deal. You don't change propellers very often on tiny whoops. So, like, this really... Don't get me wrong, I don't love this. I don't love having to do this every single time. But with how durable the tiny whoop propellers are, it kind of doesn't matter. You're not going to spend much time doing this. So just do it, and you'll save $10 a motor. You'll save your sanity. It's well worth it. It starts with the hole in the propeller. Cool? Makes sense? Bob Bruce tagged me but didn't say anything. Cole Powers says, is there a bat wing for 04 Lite? There are a whole bunch. That's what I'm flying right here. They're over on the 3D printing channel of my Discord, linked over on CiottiFPV.com. David Sainty says, found a source for 1.4 by 12 screws. I think we just talked about that. Islander FPV says, what props were you running on the last drift car session? Talked about that a minute ago as well. Wednesday, the little test session I was doing biblades. What you're watching now is me on tri-blades. Shoestring FPV says, dude, it's still solder. What can I call Great Britain that's insulting but not too insulting? I don't know. In Great Britain land, they say solder, but here in can't really call it Freedom Land anymore because that's kind of out the window. In now lack of Freedom Land, we say solder, like the cheeseburger munching, hot dog scarfing lunatics that we are. Benny Bravo says, can you use a Mobula 6 style canopy with the BetaFPV Air 65 and the CO3 cam? Is there a cradle / cam mount that will fit? Can you use a Mobula 6 style canopy? Yes, there is on Thingiverse, I believe, there is an adapter for the CO3 camera to work in the old school Mobula 6 canopy. The problem is that combo is heavy. You're going to be like high 18 grams. The Mobula 6 canopy is a heavy canopy, but the Runcam Nano 3 is a stupidly lightweight camera. So that combination is great because you've got that crazy light camera with the really durable but heavy canopy. This is hysterical. Everybody's trying to get everybody else unstuck. And then everybody gets stuck. I love it. And so yeah, you can absolutely do that, but it's going to be awful heavy. For me, if I'm going to run a CO3 camera, I like the BetaFPV G-string banana hammock mount because it's nice and lightweight and it works reasonably well. So that's kind of my go-to. Yeah, I got to print these bat wing mounts vertical. They print so much better vertical. It is decided. They need to be vertical from now on. Hold on. Let me grab the... Oh, I don't have that Bamboo Labs file opened. That's okay. Screw it. I'll maybe remember to do it later. Cole Powers says, technically a monoprop would be the most efficient single blade with counterweight. Yep, they always are. There's a bunch of lunatics that have done single blade propellers in the FPV world, and they always are folks that are looking for super efficiency, and they always get it. They get the extra efficiency. It's tough because you have to counterweight it. And, like, you got to be careful because if the counterweight is not aerodynamic, then what's the point, right? And so the single blade propellers are really tough to do. I've seen it done in the FPV world actually with, like, screws as the counterweights. Like, basically people take a biblade and they cut the blade off of one side and then they'll put a screw in. And I think the farther in you screw the screw... I think you can like adjust the counterweight because you got to get the prop balanced, right? And so I think if you get a screw that's close to the right weight, you can screw it in and out a little bit to get that to nail that balance. But like, what a pain in the ass. Created by Dub says, yes, two cards won't out just yesterday. They were working fine before I put them in the goggles. It's not even showing in the disk utility anymore. I'm on M3 MacBook Pro. What the hell, dude? Like, what? Why is this our lives? Why can't anything work? Calvin says, thank you for all the answers to my/our questions. Just signed up for your Patreon. Your knowledge is priceless, but take my money anyways. Thank you so much, dude. Speaking of complete networking, welcome to the Gangly Gang. Thank you for joining the Patreon. And then we've got Mike Allison. Thank you for joining the Patreon earlier today, it looks like. As well as EFPV and Bobby Anacha. Thank you, friends. Welcome to the gangliest of all the gangs. Make yourselves at home. My Netflix pause ends soon. Hey, I got through Foundation. That was pretty good. It needs another season, though. And then I am season 2. I'm in the middle, towards the end of season 2 of Silo, which is really, really good. I am halfway through season 2 of Severance. So I did Apple TV for March. I paused Netflix. I just had an email saying your Netflix pause ends in a week. It's really obnoxious that they only let you pause for a month. And then if you full-blown cancel, I don't think if I full-blown cancel it, I'll lose like my continue watching and my bookmark shit. But I'm afraid that I will. And like I've had Netflix for so many years that like I have a lot of good stuff in there that like I'm waiting to watch and whatnot. So I was hoping that I could just do the freeze for a month and watch everything on Apple TV and then just jump back over, but I think Severance just finished up season 4. I don't think I'm going to be able to get through all of Severance, all of the rest of season 2, all of 3, and all of 4 in the next week. So I don't know. Has anybody canceled and then jumped back on Netflix recently to remember whether or not they lost all of their continue watching and all of their saved stuff? So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do there. Oh shit, Thumpa says Severance only has 2 seasons. Maybe I'll be fine then. Elias says, I just came in and I wonder what you mean by using 2 blades whenever possible. Can't you just put 2 blades on everything? Yes. What I was talking about is the size, the diameter of a propeller has a lot to do with its efficiency. And the smaller the diameter of the propeller, the less efficient. And so the less blades, the more efficiency. So on tiny whoops, I always try to run biblades because they're super inefficient because the propellers are small. But then a biblade is more efficient. So like a biblade on a tiny whoop is the best way of getting some of the efficiency back. Created by Dub says, I just found the screws on AliExpress. Bought 200 for like $2. Nice. Can you share a link over on Discord if you don't mind? Cole Powers says, Limey Brits. Shoestring says, sorry, dude. It's just funny, and to be honest, it's as shit here. I don't know about that, man. Lefster says, hey, everybody. Scott Stevens says, could you do a run-through of how to set up Betaflight OSD via script? I think what you mean is via CLI. Yes. It is far easier than you would think. So you are going to connect your quad up to Betaflight, and you're going to go into the CLI. And then what you want is diff all. You don't just want diff. So go into the CLI. Instead of just regular diff, you want diff space all. I think that's what gives you the full battery of OSD stuff. Let me try just regular diff. No, it looks like it's the same. Is it dump? The problem with dump is it doesn't give you... Oh, it does put it in set. Let me take a quick look, though. So dump gives you absolutely everything, and it didn't used to put these sets in here, which was super annoying. But now it is. Yeah, and there's way more OSD elements here. Uh, So this is an analog rig. You have to do this individually for your analog rigs versus your HD rigs. I don't do this with. So dump is going to give you, look, all this. So what you're going to do is either diff or dump, and then you scroll back up through these. You scroll up and you look for OSD. You look for set OSD. Nothing. Here we go. Set OSD. And it chunks it all together. So you've got this massive chunk of set OSD. This is all of your OSD stuff, and then there it stops there. Right? So all you do is highlight it and then copy it and put it into a little Word document, or I have it on a little sticky note here. And then you've got it. If you want absolutely everything, that's what I just did. This is in dump. When you type dump into the CLI, it gives you every single thing, every single setting. And so that is going to give you all of the OSD settings. A little bit of a safer way to do this is to type diff, D-I-F-F, into the CLI for different. This is going to show you all of the things that are different from a stock Betaflight setup. And so in the diff, if I scroll up again, I'm going to have a big chunk of OSD stuff, but it's not as big because this is just the OSD stuff that is different from a standard Betaflight setup. This is a safer way of doing it because this is, so you're going to do this on a quad that has your perfect OSD setup. And so if you do it with the diff, which is how I've done it, and that's what's in my little sticky note here, it's great because it'll change the stuff that's changing. It'll change the stuff that you've changed from stock. What it won't do is it won't turn stuff off. So on a Betaflight setup that has crosshairs turned on, my diff has crosshairs turned off. But in the diff, it doesn't cover turning things off. It only covers turning things on or modifying things. So when I do my diff and dump it into the CLI and save it, the crosshairs will still be on. So I just have to click them real quick to turn them off. It's no big deal. If you do this with the dump covers turning things on and off. And so with the dump file, with doing it that way, it'll turn the crosshairs off. It'll save you from having that one click. But where it might be a little bit less safe is things like NTSC and PAL. Like, yeah, I don't know. Do it the diff way, and that's going to be a little bit safer. That's the way that I do it. You'll have to click to turn your crosshairs off. Whatever. It's no big deal. So CLI, type diff, D-I-F-F, scroll up until you see this big chunk of set OSD items, highlight the entire chunk, copy them into the clipboard, paste them somewhere, and then all you got to do on every single one of your rigs or the new rig that you've bought is come into the CLI, paste that chunk in, hit enter. Well, here, let me do it. So you've highlighted this chunk of changes, copy it, come down here, paste it. There's like a whole bunch of lines here. It's only showing you the one, but it just pasted in a whole bunch of lines. Hit return, boom, 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 boom. There's all the lines. Type save, good to go. That's it. And then the last step is going to be to go in here, and there might be like, see the unknown one? All right, perfect example. So my OSD setup, I use elements 1 and 2. See how this battery voltage is only on 1? The diff didn't turn this off. If you did it through the dump method, it would have turned this off. So I just come in here and turn that off. And then there's also going to be like unknown 1. I don't know why that's on. That's weird. Oh, because this has KAAK on it. Yeah, this has that wacky KAAK firmware, and so they're using unknown 1 for like the crazy stuff that they have in there. That's fine. That's whatever. So yeah, there you go. That's how you do it. It does the diff does change the post-flight stats, which is really nice. But just give them a quick once over, and yeah, you'll be good to go. Save it, and we're good. I might have needed to. I might not have adjusted the OSD on that quad. You're welcome, brother. Back to more of this flight footage because there's a lot. This will be edited down at some point, but it's going to take me a minute. Andrew Taylor says, how do you know if a prop is unbalanced? Well, the easiest way is to run your PID tunes fairly aggressive, and then if you put on a propeller that is like out of balance right out of the box, the rig will try to fly away, or it won't be right. Like, you'll go down to 0 throttle quickly, and the motors will slowly come down. It won't fly as good, and it'll act weird in a number of different ways. You'll hear like these little oscillations sometimes. Instead of being like nice and smooth, you'll hear like brrr. And so yeah, it's usually like pretty obvious. It won't be right. There's a number of different ways that'll come through, but like propellers should spin totally smooth, and they should give you like a totally even tone. It like changing propellers should be a subtle difference. It shouldn't be like all of a sudden it sucks. It should be like, oh, it's a little bit less floaty or a little bit less slidey or something like that. So that's one of the easiest ways. If you really want to test it, you can just like grab your master multiplier and just move it up. Like if you don't have an aggressive PID tune, take whatever propellers you're running now and just push that master multiplier up until it starts to act weird and sound weird, and then back it off a little bit, and then try a different set of propellers. And that you've put the PID tune to the point where it's at the limit with your current propellers. And now if you put another set of propellers on and it starts to act all angry, you know that those are less balanced. If you put another set of propellers on and it's totally fine, move your PID tune up more. See if you can move it up to where it was on that previous set of props that it was starting to get angry. Right? This is like one of the easy... We have like a built-in method of testing the... This is the guys actually getting me unstuck, which is awesome. The guardrails have the exact like wrong gap under them for me to get stuck under there every once in a while. And so when the guys see me stuck and hear me trying to turtle mode out, they'll come and bump me out. It's just hysterical. So yeah, that's what that was. They weren't hunting me down like a dead animal, even though it sounds like it, because I'm under there in turtle mode. Oh yeah, I printed this one standing up, and that printed nicely this time. No, it didn't. Oh, that stinks. I gotta figure this print out. This is a tough print. Shoestring says just torrent shit. I used to. I do not have a great way of watching torrented files on the TV here in the basement. The PS3, I couldn't believe I got stuck again that quickly. The PS3 used to be a great media server. It would play like all the torrented files. The PS4 was significantly worse, and now the PS5 is pretty much worthless. Is pretty much useless, rather. Worthless, great. Pretty much useless as a media server. But like the torrenting stuff works like for me just alone in this world. It doesn't work for a family of 4. Maggie's not going to be able to deal with the torrenting setup, and the kids are not really going to want to do that. And there's like 2 TVs in the house, and it just becomes a total nightmare. So yeah, the torrenting thing has kind of gone out the window, which is fine. You know, I don't have a problem. You know, as somebody who kind of sort of works in the film industry, I don't have a problem supporting other filmmakers. And if nobody supports them, then I won't have any work in that world, which would suck. So yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Really, like, and if you look at it like this, right? We only need to have like one subscription a month. And so like if you just have Hulu this month, it's really cheap to have access to absolute shitloads of content. And then you go through Hulu and you watch everything you can, and then you switch over to Netflix, and then you switch over to Apple TV, right? Like, television doesn't have to be expensive. Like, loads of content does not have to be expensive, I guess is what I'm saying. You know, I'm pretty spoiled from the days where like Netflix had everything, and I could VPN on Netflix easily to get lots of BBC stuff that was super cool. You know, things have changed quite a bit over the last 10 years, and now it's like, you know, each one of these streaming services just has like, they still have lots, but man, they have a lot of garbage, you know, and it's getting more and more spread out by the day, with Peacock and with fucking Tubi and Ubi and Schlooby and Gloopy and Floopy and all these different ones, right? But you just have to cancel one and then jump onto another one and put a reminder in your phone to cancel that one and jump to another one, right? It's just, for me at least, it's just about using calendar appointments in my phone to remind myself when the end of a thing is going to be up, and then you can swap. Alexander Lewis Hughes says, did you change settings from the last time at the drift track on the 04? It looks way more sharpened than last time. I did not, and you're now watching 1080, 120 frame per second footage and I can tell because it all of a sudden looks like a flip book in 100% speed, but if I go to 50% speed and now down to 20%, 25% speed, we're still at 30 frames a second. So this is how you can tell that I'm at 120 frames. No, I didn't change anything. I might have on the 4K footage, I might have opened up I might be letting a little bit of extra light in. Yeah. The ISO limit is okay. So what you're seeing is noise. The ISO limit is now at 1600, and so there's a little bit of extra noise now when it needs to open up to that higher ISO. Locking the ISO down at 800, it's still noisy, but it's not like 400 ISO. I like to have as my limit. 400 ISO on most sensors will not really start to show much noise. 800 definitely starts to show noise. 1600 absolutely starts to show noise. But it's a balance between, like, if you limit to 800 and you have less noise, the footage ends up being so dark in this scenario that I have to then push the exposure in post, and then that makes the noise in the shadows even like show up more. Or you can let the shutter speed bump up to 1600. It's going to be a little bit more noisy there, but then in theory you don't have to boost those shadows as much in post. And so yeah, I have both sets of footage from Wednesday and from Sunday now. I can compare them once I've the on the higher ISO, I won't have to increase that exposure. I'll take the 800 ISO, I'll increase that exposure, and then I can look at which one has less noise. It's usually pretty similar. Every once in a while, the built-in noise reduction will work really well on the higher ISOs, and it'll actually be a better bet to run at a higher ISO. But yeah, this is me trying to kind of dial it in. I think the predominant school of thought is to get the exposure more dialed in, and so that, which means running the higher ISO. I don't know. I've seen it both ways. I've seen images that I've underexposed that I'm able to bring back and you would never know, and vice versa. So it's it probably depends on each and every camera system, because they all have different amounts of and different qualities of noise reduction when the ISO gets higher and higher and higher. All right, so here's another one of these mounts that I printed standing up. What's it look like? It looks like ass. Yeah, I can't print these standing up. That's weird. Why? Why does that look so bad? Is this TPU just not, like, releasing up here? What's going on? There's these little screw holes in this print that you put M1.2 screws in, and the and for whatever reason, I thought that by printing this standing up, the nozzle would just do this for the print holes and they would be like really nice, but they're not. They're the center of the these mounting holes is like completely closed, which is going to make getting the screws in there really tough. Weird. When I was printing it on like some jaunty ass angle that the auto rotate picked, they actually looked great. So I think I'm going to start auto orienting it again. I'm going to leave this at 50% speed just because it's amazing. And I mean, it's 120 frames anyway. Mikael says, settings for this footage looks amazing. How do you feel about the 04 lens / FOV? You know, I have flown the 04 a bunch. I don't know. I don't know why this is now done. This is 1 minute and 26 seconds and it just stopped. Oh, because that's the last file. Yeah, so I filled up the internal storage on this. So I either need to build another one of these or bring a laptop with me. I think I'm going to bring a laptop with me because that's cool. I can plug that once this fills up, I can plug it in and dump everything to the laptop and just hit play and just let it sit there and play on the laptop. And then the guys can all come over and look at the flight footage from them flying a minute ago. And then, yeah, just dump this to the laptop. Although that was a lot of I mean, that was, I would have probably flown a few more batteries, but that was 16 batteries. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot of flight footage to now sift through and try to do an edit, right? Like, we've been watching that flight footage for almost an hour. So I don't know. It would be cool to have a laptop there regardless to dump the footage and just hit play and let the guys see what's what. Because, you know, they can't see. Like, I'm just out there chasing them around, getting in their way and shit. They have no idea how cool it is until they come home and wait a month for me to get the edit done. Although I'm going to try to get the edits done quicker this time. I would love to show you guys some of the... oh, well, hold on. Let's see if I can grab Disc Drill real quick. Free download. Let's see if I can get this pulled off of here real quick. Disc Drill, unverified download. Yeah. Fine. Oh, don't be like that. Just don't block it. Just go download unverified file. Thank you. All right. Hopefully it does not make me restart. There we go. Nope, should be all right. All right, let's take a look. So it's this card. Yes, open. And there goes the Canon webcam software being a giant steaming pile of dog shit. Oh, this is going to make me restart, isn't it? For fuck's sake. Hold on. Just deal with my frozen face. Hold on. Record drive, application, full disk access list. Yeah. Come on. Wait, yeah. Okay, great. Okay, there we go. Quit and reopen. Yes, please. Allow. Great. Oh! Alright, here we go. Disc drills up. I'm not going to share my screen because, I don't know, there's like weird stuff here. Disc drill DMG. Nope, that's not it. Where's the generic? Here we go. HD0 partition. Search for lost data. Is that what I'm doing here? Search for scanning. All right, here I can show you this. Well, actually, hold on. Let me get this fixed real quick here. While it's doing that. 23 files, 23 video files. Wait, no, that's not what I want. I want this. Deleted or lost, reconstructed. Oh my god, Canon, can you fucking please? Recover. What? Choose where to save. Okay, let's go to fast. Wait, no, fast SSD. See if that works. Hey, there we are. Upgrade required. All right, well, it looks like I can... I would definitely never defraud a company by using, like, you know, somebody like Frank Nicholas's code. Especially not live on a live stream. So I'm going to buy the code. All right. I just typed that in. Buying the code. Hold on, let me get caught up on chat real quick. Cool. Disc drill to fix your blown up DVR files. Just another thing that there's no reason for. Oh, Mikhail. So Mikhail's question: settings for this footage. It is locked. So I've got it set to manual. I just gotta like visualize this manual. Oh, no, here. Hold on. I probably didn't remember to do it. Sometimes what I remember to do in the goggles DVR files is go down to the bottom and pull up so that you can see the settings. But I can just tell you, it's manual. So going from left to right, manual, and then locked shutter at 1/120th of a second for the 120 frame per second footage. 1/60th of a second for the 60 frame 4K footage. ISO limit of 1600. That's pretty specific for this location with this amount of light. You're going to dial that in. You're going to dial the shutter and the ISO in specifically for the amount of light that you've got. Oh, balls. All right. It was worth a shot. Oh. I lost my train of thought. I was dealing with disc drill things. Oh, wait a second. It's recovering. It's recovering the files. Oh, that's a nice little hack. You just click, I have a code, and then you just put in a gibberish code, and then it says, that's not the right code. Try again later. And it's working. Cool. Fast SSD. Let's see if there's files showing up in here. Why is fast SSD stays there are 0 items? There better be items in there. Okay, none of the hard drives. Nope, that hard drive's working. Hold on, let me restart the enclosure. Oh my god. Gone are the days where anything ever worked. My god, man. Is it, or is it just like, are hard drive enclosures all absolute dog shit? Is that the deal? Like, what is happening? My god. Ah, okay. There are files in there. Good, thank God. But it's not actually recovering. Oh, okay. No, never mind. It's not gonna put the file. It's like it's recovering the files somewhere hidden, basically. I have to buy it to actually be able to view those files. How much are you? How much are you, Disc Drill? $90? No. No. No, no, no. That would explain why I deleted it last time. Yikes. Yikes. Alright, hold on. Frank's hooking me up. So yeah, there's that. What's up in the chat? Those are the main settings. Yeah, those are the main settings that you want. Limit the ISO. Don't let the ISO go to... don't ever, in my opinion, let ISO go above 1600. It just gets so noisy that it looks like hell. Yeah, it's just like not even worth it at that point. So, there you go. All right, let's see. Let's try this one more time. Open. Okay. All right, let's give this another shot. SSD. Wait, no, that's not it. Wait, is that it? There it is. HD0, search for lost data. Okay, review found items. Let's just recover all. That's fine. Fast SSD. Next. Great. Okay. Nope. Not for this version. Oh well. Wait, let's try this. Let's try this. Hold on. Sorry. Wait. right, files are recovering. $90 well spent. Okay. So. Good looking out, Frank. No rock steady. I'm trying to think through the settings on the 04. No rock steady. Those are the main settings. Color, it doesn't give you an option. Yeah, those are the main settings. Scott Stevens says, thank you very much. You're certainly welcome. Shoestring says, so EFPV has an 85 millimeter build and I have a 65. We're going to copy build so we each have both. Is it worth building a 75 millimeter too? Is there much of a difference? Is it worth it? 65 millimeters motor to motor inside the house. 75 millimeters motor to motor, kind of, sort of inside the house, but not really. Outside the house in small locations. 2-inch propeller, 85 millimeter motor to motor, outside only. Better outside in the wind. That's how it breaks down. I have a 75 mil motor to motor, 1.6 inch prop, and an 85 2-inch prop, 04 2S builds. Very, very, very similar builds. When it's windy out, the 2-inch rig is absolutely better. If I want to fly inside the house, this is the only way to do it. I don't like flying this thing inside the house. If I fly outside and it's not super windy, or if I want to like duck into the garden and shoot the tiny little gaps in between the branches and in between the bushes and shit, this does a better job. Bombing up and down the street, this does a better job. So they're just different. There's not better. There's just different. And it's the same with all these things that we build. The bigger you build, the less maneuverable, the less accurate, the faster, the better it's going to fight the wind, right? So it's all about, like, where do you want to fly it? If you want to fly it in your garden, out in front of your house, and you live in an area that's not windy all the time, 75 millimeter. If you want to fly it faster up and down the street and or it's windy all the time where you're at, 2-inch. If you want to fly inside the house, 65. Jungle gym bashing, 65. They're so good for that. And the gaps that you're going to want to shoot at a jungle gym are so small that, yeah, to really get like into the monkey bars and then power loop through half the monkey bars, it's going to be a 65 millimeter rig, and you're just going to put up with the fact that the wind is going to kick the hell out of you. You know, for a long time before Betaflight got really good, how windy it was out was like a big deal, and like we wouldn't go fly if it was too windy because the pid loop just couldn't handle it, the powertrain couldn't handle it, the rigs flew like total ass. And so, you know, it's like the olden days with a 65 millimeter at a little jungle gym. Cool. It's not recovering files yet. Oh, there it goes. Recovery in process. Cool. In progress, rather. Be interested to see if this works. Deleted or lost? Is that it? HD0? Movies? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, and there's audio, too. I forgot about that. HD0 records audio. That'll be embarrassing. That'd be fast. Yeah, look at that. Disc drill, bro. Good to go. Andrew Taylor says, I meant when talking about props in general. I think you described the Meteor 75 Pro 45mm props as unbalanced. I don't remember what you'd asked previously, Andrew. Previously, you had asked... I can't find it. Previously, you had asked, how do I know if a prop is unbalanced? So I went through like the whole way of knowing that it's unbalanced. And then you said, I meant when talking about props in general. Um, so are you asking, like, if you're on Pyrodrone and you're looking at a bunch of different propellers, how can you know if those propellers that you're looking at to buy are unbalanced? You can't. You got to kind of either listen to people like me that actually pay attention to that stuff, or you got to buy them from yourself. There's no way to just like look at a propeller and be like, I can tell that that one's going to be unbalanced. Like there's just the imbalance in propellers is imperceptible. It's caused by tiny like sub-millimeter defects in the molding process. So yeah, you just have to try them, basically. Lane says it is Ian. Okay. It's Ian as in the priceless Wesh guy. I don't know what the priceless Wesh guy is. First time in chat. Thanks for content. It's invaluable. I've been watching you struggle with your M1. You have to do a clean install, dude. Yeah, I'm not doing that. It's the computer is not the problem. The software is the problem. YouTube's live streaming has gotten worse and worse and worse. And that's not just me. That's like everybody has been complaining about YouTube's live streaming service. And Canon's webcam utility software, the new version of it for Sequoia is horrible. Everybody is bitching about it. So a clean install won't help either one of those things, and those are the two main issues. The other issue I have is that I use, I've got like 20 something terabytes worth of storage for 9 years of flight footage. And so I can't use fast SSD drives. So I use old school drives, and they're just not fast. And sometimes I play, flight footage files off of them for like the intro, the outro. And, I do think that the hard drive enclosures that I have are not great, but I don't know how to find a good quality hard drive enclosure that's not $1,000. And so, yeah, I do need to try some different hard drive enclosures, though. It's just, I've mentioned it on stream a couple times, and I've not had somebody be like, yo, here's this enclosure for $100 that I know is good. And so I'm just kind of waiting for that. I'm not going to wait for that. I'm at some point going to remember to try, just close my eyes and point at another enclosure and see if it works better. One of the things that I do think I need to do is I've got a quad drive enclosure right now and then a double drive enclosure, and it seems like the 2 drive enclosure is faster, go figure. I need to get rid of that quad drive enclosure and replace it with a dual drive. I have like a bunch of 4 terabyte hard drives. I need to consolidate that down and buy like another. I think I have one 12 terabyte. I need to buy another 12 terabyte, and then have a double enclosure with just those 2, and then another double enclosure with. I have a 1 terabyte SSD, which is nice and fast. That's the drive that I edit off of, and then I'll have 1 extra slot for. It would actually be nice to have 1 extra slot free, because I have a bunch of these old drives with like old stuff on them. And I just store those, and I use those hard drive enclosures that are like little toaster ovens that you can just drop the drive into and pick the drive up out of. And so it would actually be really nice to have 1 empty bay so that I can take those old drives, drop them in, get whatever I need off of it, take it back out, put it back in storage. Shoestring says, my name is Shoestring for a reason, and I live on shitty budget. I feel that, brother. Uriel says, television is a mind killer. It can be. If you watch it that way, but for me, television is an incredible creative outlet. It's where I get a lot of my ideas from for like camera movements and just stuff in general. Like color palettes and stuff like that. And it's also a way that Maggie and I relax and sort of unwind together. So yeah, television doesn't have to be a bad thing. You gotta make it not a bad thing. You gotta use it for good stuff, and you gotta watch the right stuff, right? There's all kinds of content that's just useless. You gotta watch good content. Joe says, I got a deal on HD02 right after buying the HD0 box goggles. Should I keep both or sell the box goggles? From the couple little reviews that I saw, it seems like the HD0 box goggles are pretty incredible. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can probably, like, I don't know what their return policy is. I don't know if you'll be able to, like, send the box goggles directly back and get a full refund or whatever. But, like, if not, I would just try them and see what's what. I think the HD0, do not quote me on this, but I think you can use the HD0 box goggles as a screen, and boy, is it nice to have a little screen. So, yeah, but that's kind of an expensive screen. Tito Bone says, how you doing today? I'm good, brother. Oh, here. So this is done recovering. And so now, what do we got? We got...
I guess I have...
All right, so let's turn this down.
I'm gonna go to...
There's me changing channels. Hey, look at this. Oh, wait, so this is... Is this yesterday? Man, I got a lot of video noise. I think I changed channels again. Yeah, I did. I was on race 4, and I was getting a bunch of garbage. I went down to race 1, and things got a lot better. This is from yesterday. Cool. Here you guys go. So here is the analog flight footage. Come on. Come on, you can do it. Here we go. There we have it. And I've muted it because reasons. Why is it like locked in 16:9? That's kind of annoying. That's fine. Elias says, what are the best props in your opinion for race freestyle on 65mm? Do you run 2 blades or 3 blades? I kind of don't like the 2 blades I got. I do not do race-ish freestyle, so I'm not the guy to ask about that, but you shouldn't make that decision by asking someone else. You should make your own mind up. Get the HQ 1.2 by 1.2 by 2 biblades. Those are the best biblades at the moment. And then get the Gemfan 1219S tri-blades are pretty good. They're a little heavier, but they're really pitchy. Get a set of those. And then get the HQ 1.2 by 0.9 by 3 tri-blades. Those are like 3 of the best props. Run a bunch of batteries on one, then switch. See if you can tell a difference. Run a bunch of batteries, switch, see if you can tell a difference, and make your own mind up. They're subtly different. They're all really good. But yeah, asking someone else what they like is not the right move there. Propellers are so cheap, and they're so like specific and different that it's a perfect opportunity to kind of figure it out for yourself. Personally, I like the biblades for like the looseness, the slipperiness. So like when I'm throwing it upside down across the room, they like sail all the way across the room, which is super fun. I like the tri-blades for the accuracy and like the grip that I get from them. I find that I crash less with the tri-blades. So it's a totally self. It's a decision that we all need to make for ourselves. And that's the best way anyway. You know, like with motors and AIOs, you can't really do that because they're too expensive. But with propellers, they're so cheap that it's a perfect opportunity to, pick the exact right one for your specific taste. Because you'll spend, like $15 to buy a couple of packs of all of those 3 amazing propellers that we have right now. And then, yeah, you can make up your own mind. Because it is a very individual kind of thing. Like there are subtle differences between each one of them. Alexander Lewis Hughes says, it could be because I'm watching live versus later on. Maybe I'm seeing better quality of the sharpness thing. No, you're seeing the noise. You were seeing the noise of 1600. That's what's showing up as sharpness, because I can see it too. It looks over sharpened. One of the things that makes over sharpened look the way it looks is like you start to sharpen the noise. Like in Lightroom, when there's just like the one main hammer that you can hit sharpening with, and then there's masking. In the masking, if you learn how to adjust that, you can have the sharpening only apply to the edges and not apply to the big flat areas where you'll get noise. I don't know how to do that in Premiere yet. I should figure it out, because I'm sure there's a way of doing that. But we're not even in Premiere yet. We're just watching these raw replays here. So yeah, I'm pretty sure what you're seeing is 1600 ISO versus 800. Which I did that because what I noticed is that most of the... So I'm just changing the limiting. I'm limiting the ISO from going above 1600 versus above 800. What I noticed is that the ISO was hanging out in the 800 range. And so even though I changed the limiting up to 1600 to give it just a little bit more range in case I'm in a really dark scenario. If I get really close to a darkly colored car, it'll be able to go up to 900 or 1000 or 1100, it wasn't like maxing at 1600 and sitting there. So it wasn't going to be noisy all of the time, basically. Hopefully that makes sense. Bad says, I'm back, stepped out for 30 minutes, so caught up at 1.5 speed, and now it sounds so slow. Frosty says, if you think your dog is a menace, mine just headbutted my tiny whoop out the window and is... and is now stuck in a gutter. Oh, brother. That sucks. That was actually an awesome moment right there. I saw Stuart was he'd perched on the back of the pickup truck, and so I joined him. I can't believe there was enough room on the back of that pickup truck for the both of us. Oh, I'm almost caught up on chat. Here we go. Brandon's Baked Bean says, like he's used to more correction with... All right, so the previous comment was, my buddy and I were racing 75 millimeters around the house today, and I let him fly my 65 millimeter thinking he'd have better control, and he kept flying directly into things he was trying to turn around. Yeah, for sure. He's used to more correction with 75. Yep. That's it. That is the experience that I have with lighter weight rigs. When I've been flying something that's heavier and then I move to something lighter, I start to hit the inside of, like, I start to like hit the couch on the inside because I'm turning earlier to offset the heavier rig that I've gotten used to. So yeah, that's he can get around that by adding stick smoothing, adding delay in Betaflight, right? This is like the main argument that I've heard of 75 millimeter being better inside the house than 65 is that people say that they like the way it looks better because it's more slow and it's more controlled and it's less twitchy. Well, and my argument has always been, cool, go into Betaflight and add the exact amount of stick smoothing and delay that you want to achieve that look, and you're good to go. If at some point you decide you want it to be more twitchy and more direct, you can do that on a 65. On a 75, you can't do that, right? When something is fat and dumb and lazy, It's always fat and dumb and lazy. You can't sharpen it up. When something is sharp, you can dumb it down, right? And there's a number of other benefits with 65, but so yeah, he could pretty easily fix that. I would do it in the receiver tab, but you could also do it with jitter reduction. I mean, you know this, Brandon, but yeah, that's super funny to hear that. That's I've heard that a bunch actually, and I've experienced that quite a bit. Uriel says a few hours is okay, but the evening filling happening is bad. BBC had good camera work. Yeah, it's important not to just watch everything in reference to television being poison. And look at that! I got all the material, all the support material ripped off. What time is it? 4:52. Perfect. Damn, yo. Wait, what time do we start these? 3, 4, 5? No, yeah, look at that. More. Oh shit. Sorry, guys. I was not sharing this screen. I wonder how long that's been going on. So this is me flying the Wandering Whoop. I thought that I'd lost all the Wandering Whoop footage, so I didn't ship it out to Quad 66 because I wanted to get some flight footage for Jesse with it. So that's this. This is the Wandering Whoop for a minute. Let me actually fast forward through this though to get to the actual like dialed in rigs, and this is me getting. This is one. Look at this. So this is the. There you go. RunCam Nano 3 rig. I learn things sometimes, and then I forgot to do it for when I changed rigs, but you can tell. So this is the really lightweight rig. Let me get a weight on this thing for you. I wanted to show this super briefly on the stream, the difference between these two. So these are my two analog drift car chasing rigs. If you're going to go chase RC drift cars, these are what you should build, because this is the best experience. This rig that I'm flying now gets almost 6 minutes of runtime. It is amazing, and it's so lightweight. You can fly it super slow. It's stupidly accurate. It is 17.6 grams dry without a battery. And with a 6-minute runtime, you could easily run a 260 mAh battery to have this be even lighter. I didn't think about that. I'm going to do that next time. This rig that you're watching right now is Newbie Drone Cockroach V3 frame. Weebleed 0702 28,500 kV motors, low power motors. Which props are these? These are the HQ 31 millimeter by 3. These are the old school ultra lightweight YOLO props. The slightly more pitchy ones, I think they're 1.2 by 1.1 by 3 tri-blades. I'm using these slightly more pitchy tri-blades from HQ because of the lower kV motors, to get a little bit more power out of the 28,500 kV motors. I don't think I was able to get out of here. Yeah, I needed help getting out. This is a 2G4 AIO, ORT micro V antenna, and then the Batwing mount for the RunCam Nano 3, and then the RunCam Nano 3, of course, up front. Super simple little build, ultra lightweight. The RunCam Nano 3 does not have the best looking video. It's kind of like muddy almost. But when you put this into Premiere, you can push a bunch of contrast into it, and I think it looks every bit as good as the other Tiny Whoop cameras, which is more to say that all of the Tiny Whoop cameras look like total hell. But yeah, I don't mind it. It's ultra lightweight. This thing, the only reason this thing is so lightweight is because of so much lighter weight is because of this camera. 17.65 grams. This thing is just an absolute superstar. That like, I hadn't flown this thing in a while, and like within a couple minutes of flying it, I was like, oh my god, like yes, the quality of the footage. I hit the cameraman there. The quality of the footage on the 04 is obviously insane, but in terms of like having fun as a pilot, this is it, man. It's so lightweight. It changes directions really easily.
you can just stick to the... I was having a hard time getting used to how quickly that it would change direction because I'd flown so many batteries on the 04 rig. The other build you're going to see in a second is 18.4 grams, so roughly a gram heavier. And the difference is, well, basically, you know what's interesting is the rig that you're seeing me fly right now is basically an old school Mobula 6, just converted with the Batwing mount. It's the 2G4 and it's the Runcam Nano 3, and that's the combo that you got with the old Mobula 6. This other one that you're going to see a minute is basically a Mobula 6 2020. No, it's exactly a Mobula 6 2024. So these two that I have are just the old and new school Mob 6s. So yeah, this is a Mob 6 2024. It's the Super X board. It's the FXT camera. Same frame. Different motors though. These are the next flight file that I'm going to show you is on 36,000 kV 0702s, and I think these are the lower pitch propellers. No, these are the same props. Same higher pitched HQ YOLO props on this. But yeah, that's funny. I didn't do that on purpose. But that's funny that turned out this way. The one of the thought processes between these two rigs is that the lighter weight one is lower powered and it's for like the more cinematic sort of flying. The slightly heavier one is on much higher kV motors, and so this one is for like throwing around and trying to get like, you know, the front flip over the top of the car and then lock in on elevation. So there's the Runcam Nano 3 rig. This is it again. You're going to very easily see when we go over to the Mobula 6 2024 build, because everything is going to get way brighter. Oh, I missed it. Oh, shit. Nope. Damn it. Yeah, this is here you go. So you, a lot more power. And now this is the FXT camera. So this is the Mobula 6 2024. One of the things that I do not like about the Mobula 6 2024 is that in order to save a little bit of weight, I think they removed some capacitance. I don't know if it's coming through the live stream, but there are some diagonal lines of video noise on this. I can't get that to go away. Like I've moved the video cable around. It's just there's more electrical noise on the lighter weight Super X board. So yeah, kind of is what it is. 2G4 for life, my friends. The 2G4 Happy Model board is definitely a little bit heavier here, but by combining it with the Runcam Nano 3, the whole rig is actually a little bit lighter, and the analog video quality is a little bit better. You could absolutely argue that the analog video quality looks like shit anyway, so who cares about these diagonal lines? If I do an edit with analog, I try to use like 80s-ish like synth wave music to kind of, and then like I'll usually bring one of my old camcorders out with the Immersion RC Power Play, so that I can get some like 640 by 480 old school camcorder looking footage and then cut that in, and the whole edit has like an old school 80s 90s vibe to it. So you could argue that these diagonal lines don't really matter, because and they could even like, you know, give that make that vibe even more obvious. That's on you to decide, right? The lighter the AIO, typically the less capacitors, the more video noise there's going to be. I'm sad that it took me so long to get this flight footage off here. I wanted to play through all of this flight footage on this live stream, but it is now a little bit after 5. We'll let this file run the rest of the way, and unless like chat explodes with questions, there'll be some flight footage that just doesn't sort of get played. Maybe I don't know, maybe I'll do a big footage dump somewhere on like a Google Drive or something like that. if I do that, it'll be a Patreon kind of thing. Because that'll take me some time to do that. So give me $3 and maybe you'll get to see. Link to my Patreon over on CiottiFPV.com. Uriel says, no, we got that. Sloppy K FPV says, I'm building one of these, but instead of chasing RC drift cars, I'm chasing skateboarders. That's super cool. That's actually awesome because like with a tiny whoop, you can like smack into a skateboarder and they won't even care. The biggest problem is going to be like the potential of them running you over. But yeah, that's super cool too because like skateboarding, you can very easily, skateboarding has been around for a long time, and like a lot of the most famous skate videos were filmed on like 640 by 480 Canon GLs and shit like that. So with like skate videos, you can very easily like drop music that kind of gives that old school vibe into the edit. And then the fact that the video quality looks like ass, like nobody really questions it. And it's just kind of like a cool style choice that you've sort of made. So yeah, that's awesome. And then with a tiny whoop, you can get like nuts with a skateboarder and like try to fly in between their legs, under the board, all kinds of wacky shit. That's a cool idea. That's a cool subject for analog tiny whoops. Alexander Lewis Hughes says, when I post analog drone footage, my friends ask what filter I used. Yeah. Exactly, man. Like it's at a point where so like two things, right? Two things when it comes to FPV with that. We will end on this. First and foremost, don't think that like better quality flight footage, a better quality camera is going to make your flight footage more watchable. Especially with freestyle FPV. The only way to make your footage more watchable is to get good scrub. It really is. Like freestyle FPV is not about the quality of the footage. It's about the flying that you're doing. And so if your goal is freestyle FPV, ain't nothing wrong with flying analog and having like twice as many working builds because analog is so much cheaper and it's lighter and it's going to crash better and that's going to let you get better faster as a pilot. I forget what my other point was. Just pretend like I said something smart now. Cool? Thanks for hanging, friends. I'll see you guys again tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, we are going to dive back into the... matter of fact, I'm going to fly one battery real quick on this as a preview of tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. This is the Hummingbird V4 that Newbie Drone very kindly sent me that really blew me away the other day flying this around. I now have changed the propellers on it. I've made the antenna setup a little bit better. We're going to talk about both of these things, and we're going to try some different propellers on it tomorrow night to sort of just dial it in the rest of the way. But as a little teaser or whatever, I have a bunch of batteries that are still charged from the other day, and I'm going to run one of them through this. Because I did set the gates up down here, so I might as well do a quick battery for you guys. This is the Hummingbird V4. If you decide to get one of these, it's $80 on pre-order, which is insane. I gotta unplug and replug the VRX. Use my affiliate link, please, over on CiottiFPV.com. I have a Newbie Drone affiliate link. Hummingbird V4, super impressive for $80. I kind of don't understand how it's only $80. They have fixed the one main problem with Newbie Drone boards, which was the quality of the video. Look how good this looks. This looks like every other AIO that has the full-size OSD chip on it. And so, yeah, I'm really impressed by this thing. The motors have good power, as you're about to see. Let me just shut up and fly. How about that? Yay. I'll still give you the Crashing sound effects, of course. Oh! Hey! Whoa. So these propellers are acting a little different than the Azzies. Oh, God. Still lots of power. Oh, suck it, Trebek! This is interesting. The dog's freaking out at someone in the front yard. Let's see what he's screaming about. Where is he? Where is he? I can hear him. I can hear him on my left. Where is he? Where is he? There he is. What are you barking at? What do you want? What are you not protecting the house from? Because you're 18 pounds and all you do is scream. Here's where you'll really get to see the power that this thing has. Oh, God! Oh! I do want to get some hard crashes into this, so... But the battery's going down. He's now barking at the coffee table. You're just gonna yell at the coffee table? Okay, so you're just barking for the sake of barking. Got it. Alright, let's come back down. He's not barking at me. He's barking at somebody in the front yard. Or someone in the street. He likes barking at people in the street. Like, dude, don't. Oh. Oh, that was luck. I'm not even gonna lie. Oh, no! Oh, so close. Shame, bro. Indeed. Ah, get out of there. No, no, easy. Enough, Teddy. Absolutely enough. Oh, having a hard time with that dive lately, man. Whoo. Damn son, indeed. Look, yo, this is like my 4th battery on this. Like, I haven't even dialed the tune in. I haven't dialed anything in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. That ain't bad. Damn. Okay. The battery is bouncing back to 3.6. Yeah, I mean, I ran this battery down a little bit more than I usually do. But, like, super, super, super impressive. Ridiculous for $80. Great job, Newbie Drone. I'm really impressed with this. This is not a build that you're going to upgrade in the future, though. I mean, you can, but it's going to be a little bit annoying to upgrade it because they use their specific motor plugs. But these motors are awesome, and so you don't really need to upgrade it. These motors make good power. Yes, a Happy Model 0702, 36,000 or 40,000 is going to be a little bit more efficient and probably make the same power, but like for $80, come on, that's awesome. You get the good frame, you get the Cockroach V3 frame. The Newbie Drone BI camera is one of the better cameras. It's some people's favorite camera. The AIO seems pretty good. You are going to have to solder BT 2.0 on. It comes with PH 2.0, which is a shame. But, you know, battery lead soldering is super simple stuff. Yeah, super impressive for $80. Super, super, super impressive. Uriel says, regards to Teddy and friends. Levster says, just about to order using your link. Thank you, dude. Uriel says, a ghost. Levster says, go Linktree. Go Linktree. There it is, friends. We'll fly this to more tomorrow night, and we'll talk about the changes that I made, and we will try some different propellers. We'll take a look at the Gemfan 1219S's. These 1.2 by 0.9 by 3 HQ ultralights, and the HQ biblades. Cool. 1.2 by 1.2 by 2 biblades. Thanks for hanging, people. I'm going to be doing some editing, so jump onto my Instagram, and when I'm editing, I tend to like put stories up of like songs that I'm thinking about. Feel free to add your 2 cents of if you like or don't like the songs. CiottiFPV.com. Support me. I'll keep doing it. Love you. Bye. I'm not ready. I'm going to play another one of these analog files. This looks like it's the Runcam Nano. Yeah, it's very obviously the Runcam Nano 3. Be good, friends. I'll see you tomorrow night at 10 o'clock Eastern. Bye-bye.